we have here some Canadian geese.
Very rare in Michigan.
Not really at all.
No, they're actually everywhere. But these geese, you see, these geese, they're everywhere. And the reason that they survive so long is because they have developed and they have adapted in order to evade their predators. They have enormous wings which allow them to fly great distances, but not very fast.
Is these migrations that is the reason we see them here today, because this is one of the stops on their migrations from their nesting grounds and stuff.
By constantly moving, they can escape the cold climate of Michigan in the winter and thus migrate further south, for example to Florida. They come here to breed and then they move south to Florida so they can escape the cold winter. As you can see, we are getting a closer shot of the Canadian geese. If you get too close to their young, and will beat you with their large wings and peck you with their bills if you get too close. So we're not going to get too close. And as you can see over there, there's some random birds. Now birds, some people theorize that birds were actually evolved from dinosaurs, and that they evolved wings in order to escape from ground-based predators.
There's one right there. Where'd it go?
It's up in the air now.
There it is.
Flying across.
Yes. Many theorize that birds are actually evolved from dinosaurs.
Yes, you see, they do that so they can catch food that lies just underneath the water.
And in this
Or
environment,
bugs that are just above the water.
In this swampy environment here, you can tell, well, if you're here you can tell, but obviously you can't because you're behind the camera. But there are many mosquitoes here.
Oh,
yes. They have evolved their long proboscises in order to penetrate human skin.
Oh! Hold on. We
see. Have any bird eggs in it right now?
We have discovered a
bird nest.
There is a nest.
This is where small birds would potentially mate and lay their eggs, and then they would hatch. And up here, above the ground, they are safe from predators, unless of course the predators can climb.
You see here that it is made from various materials, such as pine needles and small twigs and other unidentified.
If eggs were in fact inside of the nest, then the mother would then line the nest with her down, as it is called, and thus keep the eggs warm.
And again, if there were eggs in this nest and there was a mother bird, we probably would not be getting this close because
we would be being attacked.
Right. The mother birds are very protected of their young. Right here we have the plant lamb's ear. Now, Tim, can you tell us a bit about this plant?
Well, the lamb's ear can cause rashes upon the body. It's a very common sign. Originally, Native Americans and native settlers in America would use this to kind of wipe their
posterior, and thus discovered its rash-inducing capabilities.
Now, what gives it its rash-inducing capabilities are the minute hairs upon the leaves.
As you will now see.
Right, as you can see,
and
they are what causes it to collect dew as it does. Now let me zoom out a bit here, and you can see the minute hairs just barely, especially on the edges. Alright, that's enough with that.
Its rash-inducing capabilities and its heaviness also deter predators from eating it.
That too. These are called galls. Now, it's a specific type of insect, a wasp, I believe, that lays its eggs within the plant, and it then grows within the plant, safe from predators who might otherwise like to make it a tasty snack. And then, once the eggs are done growing, they break out.
I see the anthill right here.
You see, the ants have evolved so that they swarm in great numbers upon an enemy once they encounter it, thus overwhelming it by sheer force of numbers. And compared to other insects, they are not particularly strong. But when they overwhelm their enemy in sheer numbers, then they drag him into the depths of their den and consume him, just like in Indiana Jones. Only usually they don't attack people, unless they are army ants, which only reside in Africa. Don't go to Africa.
Now,
unless you enjoy being eaten by ants.
Oh, what is this?
I don't know what this is.
That's a pile of grass, Tim.
Well, yes, it's a pile of grass, but it looks like
this pile of grass has specifically evolved to really resemble a pile of grass. It is actually the Pokemon Tangela.
Oh.
We best leave it alone lest it shoots toxic spores into our eyes. I do see a couple of what appear associated with businessmen over that way. Now this is a very rare species that has evolved its sense of corporate greed to so vast an extent that they have no regard for human life whatsoever. And they will do whatever it is to obtain what they desire.
That, or they are the commonly mistaken businessmen, workers.
If they are in fact of the working class of businessmen, then they are to be respected and admired. However, the corporate businessmen, the truly evil ones, are the ones you need to avoid.
There's a slug!
What?
Right there. No, maybe that's just a rock.
That is a rock.
That is a rock.
That is just
The
a rock.
rare rock has evolved so that it is just
Now a rock.
It is a rock. It's just a rock. There's nothing special about it at all.
Yes.
Probably a damselfly.
Oh,
They live only 3 days, which is long enough to have sex, approximately 300 times. And then they have so many children, you don't even know what to do with them all. And then you buy a can of Raid.
Run the ground.
oh.
Most likely the
But I
burrow
think-
of a snake.
I think I'm going to have to dig it open.
It is likely the burrow of a snake or just a pile of grass over a patch of dirt.
Oh, unfortunately, I believe that Levi is right.
However, snakes do in fact dig burrows, from which to hide. They hide in the burrows to escape predators, or people who may be wishing to capture them for a nature documentary such as ourselves.
Oh, indeed. Now, we have here,
Are you right?
Still.
these are not cattails.
They are.
Do you see the spines on these?
They are barbed and therefore very painful. If the one were a predator, they would be very painful to consume, as they have
Right.
spikes all along their stems, and the bulbs are completely and totally pointy.
Right. Now, I believe that the seeds for this plant are located within the bulb so that the predators do not eat them.
If you look down on the plant, each of these thorny leaves is folded inward like this, and the seeds, I believe, nestle right inside the cranny.
Right.
That sounded
Now,
inappropriate.
yes, it did. Now, these thistles, I shall call them, are very hardy, which is why we find them along a road such as this.
A road with rat cars that have evolved to go very fast to escape larger predators such as semi-trucks.